If you ask most millennials how they're doing financially right now, the answer usually sounds the same. I make more money than I did a few years ago, but somehow I still feel broke. And honestly, that feeling is everywhere. You see people with decent jobs, side hustles, even business income, still stressing about rent, bills, savings, or whether they can afford a vacation without feeling guilty afterward. What makes this situation so frustrating is that millennials were told their entire lives that if they worked hard, got educated, and followed the system, things would eventually become stable. But for a lot of people, that stability never really arrived. Instead, life just became more expensive, more competitive, and more mentally exhausting. And in 2026, millions of millennials feel trapped in a cycle where they earn, spend, recover, and repeat. One of the biggest reasons for this is simple. The cost of existing has exploded. A normal lifestyle today costs dramatically more than it did 10 or 15 years ago. Rent in many cities feels almost impossible. Groceries that used to cost a few dollars now feel weirdly expensive every single week. Streaming subscriptions, delivery apps, internet bills, insurance, fuel, gym memberships, phone payments, individually they don't seem terrible, but together they slowly drain people every month. Most people don't even notice how much money disappears through small recurring expenses because modern spending is designed to feel invisible. Everything is automated now. Tap your phone once, and the payment is gone. And when every company is competing for your subscription, your attention, and your impulse purchases, your bank account slowly gets eaten alive without you realizing it. The scary part is that salaries haven't kept up the same way prices have. Yes, some millennials are earning more money than previous generations did at their age, but their money also buys far less. Someone earning a good salary today can still feel financially insecure because housing alone consumes such a massive percentage of income. In many places, people spend nearly half their paycheck just to keep a roof over their head. That leaves very little room for investing, emergencies, or long-term wealth building. And this creates a strange situation where people look financially okay on the outside while privately struggling every month. Social media has also made the problem much worse. A lot of millennials grew up before Instagram and TikTok completely took over daily life, but now they live in a world where everyone constantly displays vacations, luxury apartments, expensive dinners, designer clothes, and perfectly curated lifestyles. Even when people know it's fake or exaggerated, it still affects them psychologically. Humans naturally compare themselves to others, and when your feed is filled with people who appear richer, happier, and more successful than you, normal life starts feeling disappointing. Suddenly, a regular apartment feels small. A normal car feels embarrassing. Staying home on weekends feels like failure. This pressure quietly pushes people into spending money just to feel like they're keeping up. And companies understand this perfectly. Modern marketing isn't just selling products anymore. It's selling identity. People aren't buying a coffee for $5. They're buying the feeling of having their life together. They're not buying expensive sneakers because they need shoes. They're buying status, confidence, and social validation. Entire industries now profit from insecurity. The more people compare themselves online, the more they spend emotionally instead of logically. Another major reason millennials feel financially stuck is debt. Student loans, credit cards, car payments, financing plans. Debt has become normalized to the point where many people don't even question it anymore. Instead of saving for things first, modern culture encourages people to buy now, pay later. The problem is that monthly payments slowly stack on top of each other until people lose flexibility. A financed phone becomes a financed car. Then a credit card balance. Then interest payments. Suddenly, a huge portion of someone's monthly income is already gone before they even buy food. What makes this worse is that many millennials entered adulthood during economic instability. Some graduated during recessions, others struggled through layoffs, inflation spikes, housing crises, or unstable job markets. So even people who did everything correctly often started behind financially. And when you combine economic pressure with social pressure, people start feeling exhausted. They work harder, but don't feel progress. That's why so many millennials constantly talk about burnout. At the same time, the internet created a dangerous illusion that everyone should become rich quickly. Every day, people see content about passive income, crypto millionaires, dropshipping success stories, or 22-year-olds claiming they made six figures in a few months. What viewers don't see are the thousands of failures behind every viral success story. The result is that ordinary financial progress starts feeling too slow. Saving money no longer feels exciting when social media constantly shows people getting rich overnight. This leads many people into bad financial decisions. They chase unrealistic business models, risky investments, or fake online gurus promising easy money. And when those shortcuts fail, people feel even more hopeless. The truth is that most real wealth is still built slowly. Consistent investing, controlled spending, skill development, and patience are boring compared to viral success stories. But they're also what actually work long term. There's also another uncomfortable reality nobody talks about enough. Many millennials are financially supporting lifestyles they don't even enjoy anymore. People spend huge amounts of money eating out, shopping online, upgrading devices, or attending expensive social events, partly because modern culture trains everyone to constantly consume. Quiet, simple living almost feels abnormal now. But the people who quietly build wealth are often the ones who learn how to resist constant consumption. Interestingly, a lot of younger Gen Z audiences are already reacting against this. Many of them watched millennials struggle financially despite working hard, so they're approaching money differently. More young people are learning investing earlier, building online income streams sooner, avoiding traditional career paths, or questioning whether expensive lifestyles are actually worth it. They saw older generations burn themselves out chasing appearances, and now some are prioritizing flexibility instead. But despite all these challenges, millennials are not doomed financially. In fact, many people are finally becoming more aware of how the system works. Financial literacy content is bigger than ever. People are learning about investing, budgeting, emergency funds, and side income opportunities at a much younger age now. The internet can absolutely create unhealthy comparison and bad spending habits, but it also gives people access to information that previous generations never had. The biggest shift happening right now is psychological. More people are realizing that looking rich and becoming wealthy are completely different things. Someone driving a luxury car might secretly be drowning in debt, while someone living modestly may actually have investments, savings, and financial freedom. Real wealth usually looks quieter than social media makes it seem. And honestly, one of the smartest financial moves in 2026 is simply learning how to stop performing for other people. A lot of financial stress comes from trying to maintain an image. But once people stop spending money to impress strangers online, they often realize how much freedom they actually gain back. Suddenly, saving becomes easier. Investing becomes possible. Anxiety decreases. Life becomes less about appearances and more about control. At the end of the day, millennials feel broke in 2026 because they're living in a world designed to make people spend constantly while feeling permanently behind. Rising costs, social media pressure, debt culture, unrealistic success stories, and economic instability all collide together at the same time. But understanding the problem is also the first step toward escaping it. Because once people recognize how these systems influence their behavior, they can finally start making decisions based on what actually improves their life instead of what simply looks impressive online.